Hello, everyone. We are back with our final interview for today and for the weekend, actually, as well. And I will be seeing you again on Monday. So without further ado, I've got another incredible client of ours to introduce to you who has worked with Lisa in several different capacities and who wants to come and share what that's looked like and what the results have been. So here is, let me let her in. Here is Jenna Farmer. Hello, how are you?
Great, thank you. How are you?
I'm good, thank you. PR extraordinaire. Well, obviously, I've just announced what you do, but do you want to say it in a little bit more detail? Do you want to say who you help, like what it is that you do?
Yeah, so I'm Jenna and I help businesses get in the press. I help them in a few different ways. I work with them one-to-one. I have a membership where I sort of make the connections between the press and the business owners. And I have a course as well that really guides them through the whole process.
Fabulous. And when did you come into Lisa's world?
It was a few years ago now. So I want to say maybe 3 years ago, and it was to do one-to-many for the first time.
There's a common theme with this when I'm asking. Started somewhere in one-to-many and then they found their way into other things. So I happen to know that you went into Kickstart, which was a mastermind type container. So not the same as Velocity, because as we know, Velocity, we've picked new things and the best bits from, lots of different things that Lisa's done before. So it's not quite the same, but you've been in that kind of environment. And obviously I know that you're in different environments now. So how did you find the whole Kickstart process?
Yeah, I found it really, really valuable. And I think whenever any asks me about how to sort of grow your business or how to just figure it out, for me, it's just been masterminds and those sorts of small group containers. Obviously courses are really valuable and one-to-many really helped me figure out the whole thing. But to actually be around other business owners that are at the same stage of you and having that mindset, I suppose, of okay, I'm a business owner, that was just really, really valuable to me. And I haven't not been in a mastermind of some capacity since I figured that out, because I just think it is so valuable. Even sometimes I'm just I've got a tax question, I've got all those little things that you literally, some of the advice that people give you is 5 minutes, but it's oh my goodness, I figured it out. It's so helpful to be around a small group of business owners that are on the same path as you, are doing the same sort of thing of you in the direction as you. And I just think it's brilliant.
I think just like anything, you will only get out of these environments what you put in. And if you show up and you get to know your peers and you do sort of enter into these conversations to support each other and you build those relationships, you are going to get so much more out of an environment than if you kind of want to stay quiet or keep yourself to yourself. And although I do understand that, because it can be quite nerve-wracking going in somewhere new and not everybody is sort of an extrovert and very out there, I massively think that to get the most out of something, breaking through that a little bit and coming out of your shell is so important, because just like you, surrounding myself with business owners on that same path, it doesn't feel like a nice to have, it feels like an essential.
Oh, definitely. And I think I remember, I think I was in that mastermind and probably within the first month or two, I made my money back. A lot of the people became clients, and that's not necessarily the aim of it, and then I became their clients. You just make those connections, and then whenever anyone needed a PI, everyone remembers Jenna, or whenever anyone needs someone else, I remember them. And so purely from that sense, I remember making my money back because I met all these people that were, exactly my ideal client. But then also from just having, doing a launch and each day being oh no, what do I do now? What do I do now? I always just say I just need pushing constantly. I don't know if it's just me, but I just need someone to go, right, come on, send a couple of messages. And then that is what's so brilliant about those sorts of small group containers. Because, I think in Kickstart, I probably was there every day going hi, I'm day 3 of my launch. What should I do? And everyone was do this. And I was okay, I can do it again. And I think that is just so invaluable.
That kind of support for each other. So obviously you've enjoyed Kickstart. You must have done, or else you wouldn't have gone on to do other things, because you have then become both a one-to-one client of Lisa's, and you've also worked with her in DI, a different mastermind as well. So you're in lots of different environments with Lisa, and you've had all sorts of different access to it over the years. So how have you found that support from her and her team, because obviously the mastermind, there's a lot of team involved. How have you found that? Like, what has that done for you?
Oh, it's been brilliant. And I think I was really surprised because when, for example, I was working with Lisa one-to-one, she was like, you can message me every day. And I was like, I bet she doesn't mean that. But when she's in your corner, like she's really in your corner. And I think just having someone's eyes on your business and going, this is what we need to do, has been brilliant. And I think that one thing I will say about working with Lisa is like, once she knows your business, I just feel like she's always on your side, like giving you ideas, tagging you in people, recommending you, and just helping you get out there, and knows your business really well and just knows what you should do next. And that is just so valuable. I think it just stops all that second guessing. I just say to like, just tell me what to do and I'll do it at this point, because I know it'll work, and it stops me spending hours like thinking, what shall I do?
So knowing that it works, you must have had things work. That's why you believe it, because you know it to be true.
Yeah.
So what if the results look like for you? So where you were at, like where your business was at before versus where you're at today?
A few things. I mean, first of all, the most important thing to me actually is I've just got really clear on what my business is, like who it's helping, my messaging, and all of those sorts of stuff, which was not clear, before I started the mastermind and started working with Lisa. I think that a lot of people become accidental business owners like me, and it's like really hard to step into like, when people say CEO, I still feel silly saying that, but like I am like a 6-figure business and I need to step into that. But it's hard when you didn't necessarily set out to be that. So I think actually I've learned so much from the people that maybe did set out to be that and know about like structures and processes. And that has just been really, really helpful. I gave the example of my membership yesterday. I did a live. So we just closed my membership for a week. It was open for Black Friday. And I think like when people do one-to-many, they think like membership's probably like the easiest thing because it's so low cost. But I actually found it really tricky before I started to work with Lisa, because it's about like getting exactly what people are looking for and not overwhelming them. So when I started to work with that and with the membership, with the mastermind, I was like, can someone help me figure this out in terms of like planning the content, like keeping people in the membership? So Lisa had said to me in like April, like let's aim for like 100 members in like 2025, and I was like, honestly, what is she on? Like, what is she saying? But we hit 90 yesterday, which is insane. And I was like, because she said to me, you just need 100 members. I was like, well, obviously I won't do that. So yeah, and then I just followed the advice in terms of launching it, but also really listening to my members, what they were looking for. And that's not just about the money for me. It's about having this thing that I'm really passionate about, providing PR that's really low cost and affordable, and it works. And so she completely transformed that, because I was getting frustrated because, like I say, I wasn't sure. I think I was maybe giving people too much, and I was doing like hour-long Zooms and all of that. And she really helped me figure out what people were looking for. And of course she's done it, because she runs a really successful membership and she runs really successful courses. So just learning from that has been really amazing. So I think that is almost my biggest success, because it was something that I felt like a year or so ago I was really struggling to figure out a clear path for it, and now I feel like it's really, I'm really happy with the results. And then in terms of like income, I remember her saying to me like, oh, when you get VAT registered, I was like, calm yourself, Lisa. Well, that's my attitude to everything. I was like, calm down. Because I think what is really great about Lisa is when she gets to know your business, she's really passionate about like the potential of it. And so a few times she'd said to me like, 6 figures and like that. And I was like, that's not going to happen. But yeah, we hit, so we're VAT registered now, we're like limited company, we've hit 6 figures. I'm just really like, I'm not a likely business owner in many ways, and I wouldn't have been able to do that without Lisa's help. And yeah, there's still loads of things that I know I can learn from her, but I just followed all the advice and just took it all in, put myself out there, but just in a way that felt authentic to me. Like, I'm never going to be doing like jazz hands and stuff like that. It's just not me. I'm never going to be on like 20 sales calls. I just focused on, really being myself and just being, doing what I was passionate about and following all of Lisa's advice about messaging and content and art, things that I was putting out there. And I just feel so much happier with my business.
Oh, I just love it so much. I'm like beaming just like listening to you. It's lovely. You must have at some point maybe felt a little bit nervous
Oh
about
God.
the investments that you were going to be making, whether it be Kickstart, whether it be, my goodness, one-to-one work, or,
Mm.
DI. These are not small investments, so let's not shirk around that. What would you say to somebody that is going through those emotions right now?
I
Looking at
think
velocity, somebody looking at velocity, just thinking,
we've got to normalise that, like you say. Like, I do find it, and like I know that that's what Lisa's all about. I do find it frustrating sometimes in business where we're like, oh, it's just 10K, and I'm like, hang on, that is a lot of money. Like,
yeah,
you
yeah,
need to,
yeah.
and also we have to talk about that. So yeah, I've been pretty much terrified with every single investment I've made in business, but for me, I felt like I knew I would get a return, like I did to one-to-many. We spoke to that about before. So, I'd made my money back from one-to-many by the time it hadn't finished, and I'd made my money back. So I knew that I had that, sort of security of knowing that I would make my money back. Yeah, I was really, really worried, and I literally sent the money, and I was like, and I was sending messages to Lisa saying like, yeah, but do you think I've got the right, can I do this? Can I do that? And she's like, it's going to be fine. But it's really, really scary. But I think that you get to a point in your business where I personally was, where I was like, I just can't see how I can make this the business that I want it to be without this support, without this community, without this somebody guiding me. And I felt like I was just getting really burnt out from it, and I thought I almost didn't have a choice. So for me, it was about having that confidence. Most people have worked with Lisa before, even if it's in a small capacity like the membership. I mean, you just get so much value from that. So I wasn't worried about getting my money back, but it does feel a scary investment. But I just told myself that you need that investment when you get to a certain point in your business to get to the next stage. You really do. And sort of the connections that you will make and the support you will make. I mean, even like launches, I even from just being in the Kickstarter container, in a smaller way of working with Lisa, I made so much more money through launches, because for me, on day 2 or 3, if things aren't going well, I will just be like, oh, I'm not doing it, forget it. But because I had that community, I was like, right, what can I do? What can I do? I think Lisa regretted saying I could contact her every day with one-to-one. So I was like, what can I do? What can I do? And she was like, but so I just made so much more money just because of that consistency. And I think that's a big problem with lots of business owners. They need that consistency and accountability. And just from simply having that each day, knowing that Lisa was going to be like, how's your launch going? I was like, oh, I better message someone then, because she's going to ask how it's going. So just having that someone, she was like, how many people have you messaged? I was like, 5. And so just having that accountability, whether it's Lisa in the group, for me, that has just made me 5 times the amount of money I know I would have had from launches, because I know that I would have got stuck, I would have given in, I would have, panicked. So purely from having that accountability, I think it's just worth it in itself.
What does life look like? So from going from where your business was to where your business is today, and the obviously increase in income because of going back registered and all of those things, what does life look like?
I always give this example. One thing I really found difficult in the business world is like you would go to meetings and they were like, how much do you want to make a month? And they'd be like 10,000, 20,000. And I was like, well, I'll just pick one of those numbers. I didn't understand.
Yeah.
And so I remember that as part of the mastermind that I did with Lisa, we had an in-person event. I don't know if you're going to have that with this one, but we had an in-person thing. And she was like, everyone was just saying numbers. And I said, can you explain it to me? Because 20,000 or 30,000 sounds okay with me. So can you explain it to me? And so Lisa talked about the life that you want and figuring things out. So I always give it's a really simple example, but I was going to London with my son a few weeks later, and he's autistic. And I thought, wouldn't it just be nice if he was on a first class train? It's like £300 for me. That is ridiculous. It's an hour's journey, but wouldn't it just be nice? So I just figured out, with the membership, with the mastermind, I said, I just want to make £300 in the next few days, and I'm going to upgrade. I haven't got anything new that I'm launching, but I'm just going to upgrade and pay first class. So they helped me, just put an offer out. It was just a little offer. I made £700. We went for first class, we went for a nice meal. For me, I think that's what it's about. I wanted that for a specific purpose. For me, I've got no interest in like having loads of money and just sitting in the bank. It's
Yeah, yeah,
about what did I want to do with my life, and it's like, you know. So now we go to London each month. We just do little things where now I understand that if I want to do those things, this is how much money I need to make in my business, and this is how much profit. When before, I just felt like I was seeing a lot of figures, but I didn't really get how it related to me. Someone was like, "Do you want 6K?" Oh yeah, that'd be good. Like I didn't get it, and I think that is so important with what Lisa's saying. You know, I didn't get why the money, and now I really understand that. Now I look at my figures and I think, okay, you know, if you want to do this next month, then you're gonna do the membership, or then you're going to focus on that. But actually, if you've got enough money and you just want to chill over Christmas with your 5-year-old who is like fever pitch at the moment, then you've got some money and you just take a rest. And I think that's all as just important as each other. You know, I just don't, you know, what's the point of it if we're not using it to build the life that we want?
I love that so, so much. It's definitely how I've built out my life and my business. And I don't sort of look at what everybody else is doing and what I need to or should be earning, or, you know, none of those things. It, for me, has always come back to what life do I want to live, and as long as I'm happy and as long as I've got time. And Lisa has always done nothing but absolutely support that. So it's just lovely hearing you talking about the journey that you've been on with it as well. And I think it is knowing your numbers. And I know that as part of the challenge that Lisa did, you know, a week ago, that it's about understanding what is that enough number, enough to pay everything, yes, but enough to live the life that you want to live. And then you can just forget about the rest and the noise that's going on around you. You can just focus on what you're actually working towards, which obviously is a massive part of what we're going to be doing in Velocity. But Jenna, thank you so much for coming and sharing your experience with us, and wishing you every onward success. And obviously you remain in my life anyway, but I just been wonderful watching your journey this year. It really has.
Yeah, I don't know if you remember as well, Abby. I actually messaged you, didn't I, before working with Lisa, and was like, "Do you think I should do it?" And you were like, "Of course you should do it." But how funny, full
Yeah,
circle.
full full circle. And if anybody else wants to get into my inbox to ask what that's looked and felt like for me, that's no problem at all. Obviously, I don't want to make these interviews just talking about myself. But if anybody wants to know sort of what my journey has been, you can just jump into my DMs, no problem at all. Right then, I will see you
Okay.
very soon. Have a lovely weekend, Janet, and to everybody else that is watching. And I will be back with more success story interviews on Monday. See you
Thanks,
later.
Abby. Bye.